Launching on TikTok Shop is without a doubt one of the easiest things that you can do if you want to really supercharge the amount of growth that your brand is currently experiencing. It's an entirely new marketplace for a lot of brands. And if you get the strategy right, you can actually see that the revenue growth that you experience is like no other. But with that being said, TikTok Shop is still really new and confusing for a lot of brands. And the launch strategy that you actually need to follow is going to be a little bit different to ones that you may have followed before, e.g., on Amazon or Shopify. So, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the strategy that we follow when we're running accounts within our Honest Creators agency. And just to show you that this does work, these are some results that we've had with a brand new product on the TikTok Shop platform. It started from zero, it had no reviews, nothing. And these are the results that we've now achieved within the second or third week. So, just to put that into perspective, this is currently around 50% of what the brand is achieving on Amazon, which is their main marketplace. And we are not even getting started yet. We are just warming up. So, what I'm about to walk you through, it works. So make sure you take lots of notes. Now, with that being said, before you go in all guns blazing with your TikTok Shop launch, there's a few things that you must make sure that you've done before you hit that imaginary launch button. So before you go live, you must absolutely ensure that your TikTok Shop listing is optimized. Now, if you are already selling on Amazon, you're already selling on your own Shopify store, then in all likelihood, you've already got a listing that is pretty much ready to go. But with that being said, when you do actually copy and paste it over onto TikTok, or you use an app to translate the listing over, you must still read everything and make sure that it makes sense and you're not inadvertently breaking any of TikTok's rules. One of the most common rule breaks that I see is where people copy over their listing from their Amazon store and they forget that in the description it says check out our Amazon store for more products of the same or whatever. As soon as the TikTok bot picks up that you've used the word Amazon, they'll pull your listing down and you'll get a violation ticket. So as soon as you have imported your listing, give it a read and just make sure that it is written appropriately for a TikTok audience. And just given that you may not have actually reread your listing and looked over your images in a while, if you've kind of had some good success on Amazon and other marketplaces, just look at it with a fresh pair of eyes and just be thinking, is this the right thing to say to an audience that are basically shopping on impulse? When you are on Amazon, you are preying on customers that are shopping with intent. So shoppers will log onto Amazon and they'll be like, right, I need a water bottle. I've been really thirsty today and I've not had anything to drink from. I've got a problem. I know what it is. Amazon's the place to solve that. However, with TikTok, it's an entirely different audience. You're not waiting for people to search for water bottles on TikTok Shop. Whilst the proportion of people that do that is growing, it's still the vast minority. What you are preying on is people to see content that's been uploaded, like from affiliates promoting your products, and to suddenly be like, oh, wow, that product looks cool. It solves a problem that I didn't know I had. I'm now going to go onto the shop listing, have a look at it, and then decide if I want to buy. So with that being said, when you are looking through your listing, you need to make sure that it kind of preys on that type of customer, the impulse shopper. So don't just go in and just, kind of describe exactly what the product is. You want to make its benefits really well known right up front in the title, in the images, the pain points that it solves, all that good stuff. So make sure it's fully optimized. I would also say you should try and get at least a couple of reviews under your belt. Now, this is the exact same as the Amazon launch strategy. It's obviously not allowed to get friends and family to purchase, although I have seen something on the back end of TikTok that does encourage that. It's really weird, but officially it's not allowed. So what I would do is ask distant friends and family, workmates, whatever, if they could just buy a unit, wait 5 days after it arrives, and then leave you a review. If you can get a couple of reviews under your belt before you actually go ahead and launch, your conversion is going to be better. You're going to attract more creators that will want to promote your products for you, and you'll just have a better chance of having a really successful launch on TikTok. Third of all, you should ensure that your pricing is competitive. This one is huge. So many people don't understand that TikTok is full of people driven by value, aka they are tight. They hate spending money. And because you are preying on that impulse shopper, You need to make sure that the person feels like, damn, I am getting real value for money here. So my suggestion is take a look at your competition on TikTok, see how they are priced, and then put your product, at a price that is competitive with that. I would also suggest, if you are on Amazon, launching at a lower price point. And if you are like, that's just not going to be profitable whatsoever, you can still do that, but you can add shipping on. I've noticed that on TikTok, the vast majority of products have a shipping fee added on. Whereas on Amazon, it's included, isn't it? You get Prime, so it's free. So it's really effective, therefore, because people don't seem to mind to pay shipping, to lower your price point below what you've got on Amazon and just kind of add the difference on with shipping. That's exactly what we've done with the example that I've just shown you. And it also gives the creators that are going to be promoting your products like a real easy way of like having a couple of hooks to say this is way cheaper than anywhere else and showing it on Amazon and wherever. So once you've done that, I would also complete what are known as growth missions. So if you go into the back end of TikTok, there'll be a section called growth. And this is where you can do some very easy, like to-do lists, to-do activities from TikTok. So, add 5 listings to your TikTok shop, message 3 creators, whatever. Some of them are super easy. And if you do those, you will get given vouchers on your listing, and it will say £5 discount, $5 discount, whatever. And it makes the product cheaper for the customer, but it doesn't hit your bottom line because it is subsidized by TikTok. So, that coupled with that value proposition that I've just said about having an attractive price point, those things are absolutely essential. Now, these last two are really, really important. Affiliates, content creators, are going to be the difference between you succeeding on TikTok Shop and you failing. You are going to need good affiliates to promote your products. So, even though there are tons of affiliates out there, the truth is that the vast majority of them don't really know what they're doing. And even if a lot of them do understand how content creation works, they may not understand your product, the pain points it solves, why people would want to buy it, and so on. So you must do your own research on content ideas that you can give to them. Don't just rely, unless of course you've got a really simple product like a fan or something, or a water bottle. Don't just rely on the content creator to do that research themselves, because like I say, the vast majority won't, and a lot of them are a little bit lazy. So use tools like Halo Data, Fastmoss, like the Daily Virals, all these different websites and tools that you can use for inspiration. Make sure you leverage those and put together like examples of hooks, skits, call to actions that you can basically just give to your creator. And then finally, before you go ahead and properly launch, once you've done everything there, my suggestion would be to recruit at least 5 different affiliates who are able to post consistently for you. And in order to guarantee that you get that consistency, you may need to rely on offering retainers. So that's, giving them money and saying, we'll give you, I don't know, $300, £300 for 10 guaranteed videos in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, doing that is going to really help you to gain traction. Now, before we go through what my actual launch strategy is, I just want to quickly run through like Honest Creators, which is my TikTok shop agency community. We've got a community of over 1,000 content creators that we train. And one of the packages that we can offer you brand owners, if you don't want to do all this yourself, is we can do the coaching, we can do the spoon feeding to the creators in order to drive results for you. At the moment, on a monthly basis, we are doing around £300,000 GMV for the brands that we work with, and that is all using our own creators, our own trained creators. So if after running through this, you're like, do you know what, I'd just rather somebody else do it all for us, then you can follow the links below. We can either do like training for you. I can train you on all of this, like how to attract, retain, nurture your own affiliate army, or we can just do it all for you. So the link for everything for that is below. But with that being said, let's now continue with week 1 of what the launch strategy should look like, provided that you followed those steps that we just covered. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is to ensure that you are fully coordinated and in communication with the creators that you've either reached out to yourself or that you like somehow know. I mean, you could well know some creators yourself, maybe if you've done UGC content before or from Amazon, but just assuming that you don't. So you would need to actually have messaged creators via the TikTok platform or via like one of these bots that's available. And you should 100% make sure that they know exactly what type of content they're going to be posting, that they've got inspiration, and that they are motivated. So that could be through those retainers that I mentioned earlier. It could be through offering commission bonuses. So you could say, whatever commission you guys generate in the first 3 days, we will double that for you. You could also run competitions. You just need to make sure you are doing as much as possible to really motivate these guys to post for you pretty much every single day if you can. Now, you should also, if you are feeling up to it, be prepared to offer these guys training. So like I said before, a lot of these will have content creation training already, but they won't have training on your product. So it might be easy for you to film a video like this, to write stuff down, whatever, just give them guidance so that they can absolutely smash it. So during that first week, you want to be providing as much feedback as possible. As soon as they upload videos, have a look at it. If you think the hooks suck, tell them how they can change it. If you think that one creator in particular is absolutely crushing it, then use them as inspiration with your other creators too, to, increase that level of competitive rivalry and just absolutely ensure that, these guys are going to get the best bang for your buck. Now, one thing that I should say that should precede this is when you are messaging creators, you should expect that the vast majority just won't reply. And that's because creators are in short supply. We get harassed every single day by brands. So don't send 10 messages and think, no one is messaging me back, they're not interested. You need to really get those volume levels up. I would say for every 100 messages that you send, you're going to be getting, like 10 responses or something. And then of those, you might get 5 sample requests. So you want to try to get as many creators to reply to you in the first instance. And then when you make your offer and say, this is the sample, this is what we'd like you to promote, again, based on that, just kind of assume that half of those will actually go on to become a creator for you. So just something to bear in mind. So you should also, throughout the week one, keep your eye on trends with your competition. So using tools like Kalo Data, Daily Virals, just see what's working. If you can jump on a trend, like a new hook that is seemingly like very innovative, it's not been used before, and you can get that to your creators, the chances are that they will go viral with it too, because it's not being overused. So be visiting sites like Kalo Data, Fastmoss as much as you can, and just constantly giving that feedback to your creators about stuff that they can be using to grow. So this is another big one. You want to make sure that you are running flash sales and that you've got the strike through pricing on your on your page. So you'll know if you're an Amazon seller that previously you could say price $40, £40, and then it's got a strike through line through it down to 30. Amazon used to let you do that all the time, and you didn't really have to fulfill any criteria. But then they changed it a few years back, and they said, if you want the strike through, you need to actually sell units for that original price for a certain amount of time. TikTok does not have that rule at the moment. So you can literally set your price to $40, and then you can just go into promotions and then create price discount. And you can say the price is going to be £30 and you'll get that strike through. Make sure you do that. It will help massively with your conversion. And then on top of that, you should also make sure that you are running flash sales. So that will be in the promotions side menu. And then you press create new promotion and then flash sale. And a flash sale, unlike Amazon, is completely free. It's a time-bound discount that you can have running for, could be 2 days, could be 3 days, and it will have like a countdown on your listing, and it will really help you with your conversion. Okay. And then finally, keep checking those growth opportunities. The more results that you get, the more vouchers that will unlock. So you'll have one that says your first sale, £100 in vouchers for your customers, £2,000 or $2,000 in sales, more vouchers. Just make sure you have to go into it in the growth opportunity section of TikTok Seller Center, and you have to actually apply. Even if you've passed it, you have to make sure you press claim. Otherwise, you won't get it. So that's week one. You're going to have a lot of fun and you're going to be very busy. So just make sure that you keep all of that in the back of your minds. Week two is when you want to be continuing to recruit new affiliates. So don't just rely on the 5 or 10 or however many you have got to continue posting content for you. Some of them might not be any good. Some of them might be brilliant, but they might get a little bit demotivated or bored, or they might be just promoting other products. You want to constantly be messaging and finding as many new affiliates as possible. And like I said before, the response rate is going to be on the low side. The number of people that request samples is going to be even lower. So volume is your friend. Use TikTok bots like Uptick, and I'll put a link for that below, to mass message these guys and to recruit them in bulk. Otherwise, your fingers are going to get very tired from all the typing and copying and pasting. So keep recruiting new affiliates. You want to continue to check for new sample requests. Anybody that has decent amount of GMV, when you check your sample inbox, I would personally, just approve them. So by the time that you get like a real nice flywheel going with creators uploading content, sales coming in, and more creators requesting samples, you're just going to be getting so many requests through that it's going to take you far too much time to dive into each profile, to check the results and so on. So what you'll need to do is either just approve based on the GMV that you can see, hire a VA to do that for you, which you can do on sites like Upwork or Online Jobs, or make use of, again, bots to do that for you. You should also announce winners of any sprint competitions that you had running with your affiliates so that you can basically reward and motivate them to continue posting more. Award retainers. Now, this is a strategy that we use to basically extend the amount of content or increase the amount of content that we get from top affiliates. So you basically say week 1, you need to post as much as possible so that we can get a real idea of the quality of your content. And then you can say week 2, we will award you retainers based on that. So you're kind of getting a free week. Now, with that being said, I would say that if you haven't got lots of creators on your books at week 1, you should still think about offering retainers at that early stage to really ensure that the volume is as high as possible. But definitely week 2 is where you can, start handing out retainers to really get that certainty from the different affiliates that you found, and especially around ones that are good. So the last 2 things on week 2 are to continue keeping an eye on those trends and keep running flash sales, keep checking growth opportunities. And then if you have got a decent amount of content that is being uploaded and the content is converting, so you are starting to see sales, this is where you should start running ads. So running ads on TikTok is done by AI, it's done by the algorithm, it's fairly straightforward to do. They've simplified it a lot in the last few weeks. All you need to do is select a target ROAS, a daily budget, and then TikTok will basically do the rest. So only start doing this though if you actually have content from affiliates that's good. Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll get a very poor return on ad spend, or the ads just won't spend any money. Because like I say, when you set the campaign up, TikTok will say, what is the target ROAS that you want? And it will give you a suggestion. When we first started running ads for this account here, it said target ROAS of like 1.5. And we were just like, well, no, because that's just not going to be profitable. So we waited until we had some more content. We continued giving coaching to some of our content creators. We started to see the conversion improve. We also started to do things like discounting with those points that I mentioned and the growth vouchers. And then we launched the ads with a ROAS of like 2.5. And we're now operating on a ROAS of about 4.5, 5 times. So that means for every pound of ad spend that we put into the machine, we're getting £4 or $4 back, which is really, really good. But as I say, you're not going to get that ROAS level unless you've got a decent amount of content. So I put start running ads here, but that's going to be contingent on you having good creators that are posting, decent content for you. If you don't, remember, keep giving them feedback, explain to them what they could and should be doing in order to improve their results. And then week 3 onwards, this is when you can really start to scale. So you want to be continuing to provide feedback to your creators. You should at this point have like a good idea of who your top performing creators are, and you can get them on retainer. You can motivate them with like prizes, retainers, whatever. And then this is where you can ramp up the ad spend and you can start to change the ROAS. If your ROAS is comfortably able to come down a little bit, and that's going to allow you to scale even more, then that's what you should do. And the long and short of it is, guys, this is something that I think some people forget, is you need to be consistently rewarding, training, encouraging, and motivating your affiliates, because ultimately those guys are the lifeblood of your business on TikTok. Without them, the amount of content going out is going to dry up. And yes, you can still run ads, but eventually the ROAS is going to drop because the content will have been seen by so many people and it just won't perform as well. So suggestion is to avoid that. You need to be constantly messaging these guys, messaging new creators, training them with that nice little flywheel and reaping the rewards. So that is literally the strategy that we followed to achieve this for a brand new product that was not on TikTok at all. That a lot of people said, I think it's going to be quite expensive. I'm not sure if you're going to have much success with it, but we've achieved this in like week 2 or week 3. And for sure, we've got stock issues at the moment. We can go even higher than this. I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to get to about 100K on a monthly basis with this product. And that's more or less what the brand is doing on Amazon. So doubling. So with everything being said, I did refer to Honest Creators at the beginning. If you would like us to recruit our own affiliates for you, we can do that. If you would like us to coach you in more detail on how all of this works, how you can build your own affiliate army, we can do that as well. All you need to do is follow the link below, fill out the brand discovery form, and we can have a conversation about we can help. So that is it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been helpful. See you in the next.